Cord cloud. Good evening. It is December 30th, 2025. I'm Glenda Carlin, and this is our weekly A Course in Miracles and Tibetan Buddhist meeting, Zoom meeting. And because it's just 2 days till New Year's, it's a holiday, and I recognize maybe next year I may cancel having meetings in between Christmas and New Year's because people are busy. But we're here, so we're gonna have a get together. So welcome Buddha Ed, Buddha Christ Ed, welcome Buddha Christ D, welcome Buddha Christ Chaz, welcome Buddha Christ Glenda, and to those in our sangha that aren't here this evening. I truly appreciate and love each of you so much. Now the topics for tonight's teaching are, the first one is that it's kind of shocking to me, is that I'm actually aware of beingness, of resting with beingness, and have been, and I recognize that's really when the seekers should become finders. I'm recognizing the journey has come to an end. But that doesn't mean things don't get tweaked and for a deeper awareness to happen where I more subtly understand and have insights about what is happening in this spirit world, in the clear light of spirit that my Buddha Christ godly nature is abiding in now. And the saying goes, I'm enlightened enough for now. So the first topic is, I'll just read. My awareness is resting with beingness, no longer distracted by the six senses stimuli. I recognize there's these two drops in the subtle body. And because I don't understand them, I don't understand the subtle body. I've not been taught it. So I'm going to get a drink of water. Here comes Lynn. We'll wait for Lynn to join here. Here's Lynn. Welcome, Lynn. The first topic tonight is my awareness is resting with beingness, no longer distracted with the six senses. That's a big deal. The six senses are thinking, sight, sound, smells, taste, touch. The six senses are constantly going out into the environment and within your body, putting off stimuli. Here comes Debbie. Here come Debbie. I'll wait to see if she joins. There's Lynn. Welcome, Lynn. Welcome. Welcome. Debbie's trying to come in, so I'll pause just a second. There she is. Here's Debbie. Thank you. I'll just briefly start again. The main topic for tonight and it's kind of shocking, is that I'm able to rest within beingness. I mean, up to a few months ago, I didn't even know what the hell being was. I just was trying to rest between two thoughts, rest within meditation, within some quietness once in a while, feeling that was being, and it is. And that gap between thoughts, and by practicing seeing through our brother and sisters to the clear light of their spirit, you're breaking through to see the clear light. That clear light you can rest in or be with. Now, before we can rest or be with clear light, That's why it's called refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, because we don't know how to rest. We don't know how to be, because we've been out doing with the thinking mind. So we rest within the Buddha. That means resting within the love of Buddha, the unconditional love of Buddha, resting within the Dharma or the truths that are explaining about your true clear light nature, and resting in the Sangha, where you feel their loving support and attention, and want to help you and support you in your practice. So we take refuge or rest in that until the attainment of supreme enlightenment, because then you can rest within your own beingness. Okay, so anyway, so what so that's the first topic. And before I discuss it, the second one is, so I don't forget, is within the email I sent a link and a explanation of a 1 day Zoom virtual retreat that Lama Surya Das is having this coming Sunday, January 4th. This coming Sunday, January 4th, from 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And what's wonderful is you're not going to just get, if you attend, you're not just getting the teaching of one Lama, you're getting the teaching of a second Lama, Lama Roger Walsh, who was in his regular life a psychologist, and he's a teacher at UCLA. And studied A Course in Miracles for I don't even know how many years. I don't even know. It's over 10 years with his late wife, that then got brought to Dzogchen Buddhism and became awakened and enlightened. So he practices both. He gives that perspective from both. And so that if without, I got to give acknowledgement, without the Holy Spirit brought the course, but the text was so confusing. I didn't understand it. I could barely, get through the workbook lessons. Thankfully, I, at least from a Gary Renard Disappearance of the Universe book, found out how to practice advanced forgiveness, which means look beyond the body to the clear light of spirit that's here. And that's called Treched, or seeing through, being through, cutting through a form to see its clear light nature. Well, anyway, I did learn that. But without Dzogchen putting this stuff down to some ordinary, like Chaz has said, she likes it that I share my ordinary life experiences, how I'm applying these truths. So with that Lama Surya Das came Dzogchen, but more than that came meditation, sky gazing meditation, space mingling meditation, Treched. The biggest deal is leaving it as it is, seeing it as it is, just as it is, just as it is. Letting go means letting come and go, meaning be aware of these thoughts, whether you're on the meditation cushion or off it, cultivating awakened awareness, panoramic awareness, to be aware of our thoughts. Because when you become aware that you're thinking about the future, past, or present, that immediately lets it go. So without him, I would not be able to teach this like I'm teaching it. I probably would have stopped my classes years ago. So thank you, Lama Surya Das. So there's a barcode in there where you can start your year off right by joining. It could save you years of work by going to that Zoom 1 day retreat. Oh, they're going to have other senior students do meditations and share things in among that day session. Okay. Now, I was, so when I recognized that I was able to rest within beingness, I sensed something changed. I know I couldn't put my finger on it, but as we practiced the Course in Tibetan Buddhist truths, your intuition and gut and your higher Christ Buddha nature starts to open up. I sensed, I sensed there was a fire. There was a fire burning within my body. And see, there's the physical body, but then what A Course in Miracles and Tibetan Buddhism and Dzogchen opens you to is your subtle light body, SUBTLE, subtle light body. There's two bodies here. And within that subtle light body are the chakras. Those are energy wheels dispersing energy. There's meridians, there's wind channels, there's the central channel, and there's a yin and yang channel. The yin and yang are two channels. One's the masculine energy, one's the feminine energy that are going on within this physical body. When we're asleep, these two forces, life forces, yin and yang, masculine and feminine, are opposing each other. They're fighting each other, causing karmic winds because we believe we're a separate self. We believe in a separate self. And when we believe in a separate self, we don't realize what we're believing in is this masculine and feminine two light forces that are moving in the body. We are believing in them, in that they're real, when in reality they're light energies. But anyway, we don't know about them. I'm exposing you to it because maybe do a little research, investigate it. This is why you want to let go of the person you used to be. Because in letting go of the person you used to be, you are letting go of these two opposing forces that are darting around, causing all these chaotic winds within your body. So anyway, I felt something was different. Besides, I felt there was a fire burning in my body. I felt like everything had settled down, like everything had just settled down, like Timo and Holy Masters say, like snowflakes melting, falling and melting in a warm lake. What I saw was what was happening is thoughts, feelings, and sensations as they were arising, they were automatically settling into the fire of some chakras that are opened up inside my body, being burned up immediately to be liberated. That's why I felt like things had settled down. My thoughts, feelings, and sensations were no longer, I was no longer following them and gluing thoughts, sentences of sorting, labeling, and evaluating the thoughts and feelings and sensations, which causes discursive change of thinking. Now, as a result of this feeling, everything settles. These things are, my thought feelings are dropping into the fires. I Googled some chakras to find out, well, where's some fire going on around here? In the root chakra, there's always some fire, but there's a solar plexus chakra in your like upper kind of chest. You want to Google chakras, and it's a sun, a short, also known as a sun chakra. It has a fire in it. There's the Manipura chakra, which may be another name for the solar plexus. But then the sacral chakra, there's a fire. And then I forgot, when I Googled, the heart chakra has a fire. But these fires are asleep until you start remembering your clear light nature and you start remembering to let these thoughts and feelings go and not identifying with them. During meditation, where you relax and let go, you're no longer attaching to thoughts, feelings, sensations. Now, I know this sounds so simple, and some of you are wondering why the heck she going back over this stuff. Let me let me explain why. I realize the huge significance is these basic things of Trechet or advanced forgiveness from Jesus in A Course in Miracles, of seeing through, being through the form, stops you from chasing thoughts of self. Meditation of sky gazing and space mingling opens your mind to the vast sky-like nature of your mind. And for moments, you stop chasing thoughts and feelings, and you're just in the openness. Let's see, breathing, taking a deep breath from two finger widths below your navel to take a breath and go picture a central channel straight up, like it. I realize it goes straight up your spine. Follow your breath straight up your spine, like vertically out of your top of your head, and picture source. Even though source is everywhere, the great ray goes to source and downloads some more energy and brings it in the top of your head. But I want you to breathe deeply from the bottom of your pelvis up this central channel, up your head, out the great ray tube, up the source, and on exhale, take your breath straight back down again. Now, what that's doing is huge. You're collecting all your thoughts, feelings, and sensations and bringing them within this central channel. And what you're doing, you're drawing in these discursive winds of karma that are out there jumping around. Everything's getting drawn into this central channel. And your breath and that subtle great ray that's in there that you're not aware of yet, it purifies these thoughts, feelings, and sensations, automatically liberates them. So just breathing up and down your central channel is humongous. Let's see, now breathing, I wrote down some stuff. And breathe, relax, and smile. Just smiling, an inner smile or an outward smile. What that does is relaxes the edges of your body. And guess what? You're no longer thinking about you're a body when you're relaxed. You're now relaxed into that spaciousness of source. Again, the discursive winds of karma have stopped. Cultivating awareness of what you're thinking when you're doing something. I went my whole lifetime up to 6 months ago not being aware of what the hell I was thinking while I was doing something, not being present with what I was doing when I was doing it. When I was talking to somebody, was I present, or my mind wandered off to some future event or something I'm going to do after I get done talking to them? Cultivating awareness, so when you're aware of a thought of not in the present moment, that automatically liberates that thought, and you're back in the nowness moment of purity, where also the karmic winds are not running around. They're not. You're in peace and calm. And short moments repeated many times of practicing any one of these things is causing a new habit to be formed away from the reaction habit of following thoughts, feelings, and sensations to the habit of resting, being quiet for just a second or two, being aware for a second or two and thinking of something as a clear light of spirit. It builds on itself. You're building a new habit. And I opened the Course in Miracles book to the introduction to the workbook because it came to me. Holy Spirit brought it to me to read about this workbook. What we're doing is the purpose of this workbook is to train your mind in a systematic way to a different perception of everyone and everything in the world. Those things I just was describing, that's what every one of them is doing. The exercises are planned to help you generalize the lessons where you'll start to apply these lessons on not just one person, but many, as a lot of people during your day, you'll remember to do it to. And ultimately, when you're sitting in your chair watching TV, you're remembering to do it to the actors on the TV screen, the news reporters, or whomever, your family members, usually the ones closest to we forget to practice on. And Jesus says the transfer of training in true perception does not proceed as does the transfer of training in the world. I can testify to that. What he means is in the world, you have to damn practice for multitude of years to get one habit. But here, practicing this pure kind of thinking and forgiveness type of way of thinking, you can jump past lots of lessons, lots of bad karma or whatever karma that might have come into your life. You can jump past that to be in a whole new chapter in your life. You'll generalize the ideas involved in every situation in which you find yourself and to everyone and everything in it. That's like I was told, see the light in everyone and everything. That's what we're wanting to start to generalize. Here Jesus says, the overall aim of the exercises is to increase your ability to extend the ideas you will be practicing to include everything. I'm not kidding. This is how it is. But if you don't practice, you can never get to practicing on everything because you're not practicing on little things. Well, I'm not even doing 2 things a day, let alone do 4, 6, 8, 10, 20, 30, or looking at from the end of your day back on your day, rethinking about what people did I see that I forgot to see the clear light of spirit in. And I do that. And not just me. I've heard Lama Surya say, he looks at the end of the day, he looks back on his day and has 2 piles of little pebbles. One are black pebbles, one are white pebbles. And any actions that weren't pure, he puts a little pebble. All the actions that benefited others and were pure nature, puts a little white pebble. He looks to see which pile's bigger. And he goes to straighten out that pile that's got some black pebbles in it. Now, give me a break. This guy's practicing 40, 50 years. And he learned that from one of his holy masters. So don't think just because you're awakened or enlightened, you're going to start judging, because that doesn't happen, because the dualistic egoic mind is always present. But when you're awakened and awakened, you're aware of it, and you're not falling into the trap of the stimuli. You're letting the stimuli of good and bad stimulations come and go. And you're aware that the dualistic mind was created by us, the collective sonship, in order to create the world of form. It was created for judgment, sorting good and bad, so it could create objects. Because to create an object, you got to decide, hold it, that thing's not balanced. It's not walking right. We need to look there, that side up worse than that other side. It's not balanced. You're making judgments. And with those judgments, then the sonship gave feedback to the mind. Okay, straighten out those shoulders, make those arms a little longer, make those legs balanced to, the dualistic mind was designed to create the universe. But when it was awake to its Christ, Buddha, God nature, it didn't fall trap to all the stimuli that are coming and going. Anyway, the final thing about this workbook I want to read here. Some of the ideas of the workbook presents you will find hard to believe. Others may seem to be quite startling. This does not matter. You are merely asked to apply the ideas as you are directed to do. You are not asked to judge them at all. You are asked only to use them. It is their use that will give them meaning to you and will show you that they are true. He says, it ain't up to you to judge this stuff. Just practice these lessons, please. And through the practice, you'll be freed. Yay. So I researched, I Googled about the fires, and I saw, wow, there's a lot of fires in these chakras that are open and firing. And, and so that means I had heard of Yardrol, Yadrol. That's the state when thoughts, feelings, and sensations automatically liberate upon their arising. And I thought to myself, that'll be a while. Well, what happens is as I practice more, many more hours during the day, I still watch TV, still go to the health club, still go to the grocery store, still laugh and giggle and carry on. But in general, I was practicing. What happens is that practice gains a momentum, and slowly, that cultivated awareness, you start to be aware. Oh, I had a thought, and I glued onto it and went over there thinking about that person has just been crappy to me my whole lifetime. I'm just going to quit seeing them. And you become aware. Hold it. I'm rehashing a thought. And that awareness brought your attention back to center, back to clearness, and you start again. Well, that's a brief moment of awareness. As the more you're aware, awareness of thought is curative and is a form of meditation. Your attention's brought back to center, to this still clear light. That builds on itself. There are two other stages of liberation of thoughts and feelings, but the final one is when these things come up, the six sense stimuli come up, thoughts, sounds, feelings, sounds, sights, smells come up, they're automatically liberated. That's what's happening now in my form, because the yin yang two forces have joined with the great ray that's coming in this central channel. So when I was asking about letting go of the person used to be, it's huge because the yin yang two forces got to come back together. They got to rejoin how they were in the pure Garden of Eden state before the separation occurred. Right now they're separate. They're separate. And through the last few weeks or month, I'll talk about how and then see what happens. The natural Christ Buddha nature works with Holy Spirit. It takes over and it does this healing. The body naturally wants to heal itself and the mind. And so that's when I will describe to you when I wake up in the morning, I'm laying in bed and I feel a pressure of energy in my forehead and I know to wait. I know to wait. And then I feel that pressure start to lower slowly down my body. That's the clear light going through my form through the central channel. There's the central channel follows the spine. It's vertical. It's cluttered with thoughts and judgments that are automatically made by this dual mind that I've not let go of. But you can picture this light because I pictured the light way before this light ever took over by itself. But you can picture a light like a horizontal light that goes the width of your body coming slowly down your head, down all these chakras to your pelvis, to your feet. And thinking about it's clearing up your judgments from this lifetime and other lifetimes. And be aware of what images come to mind when you're doing that. Because journal them, because those are images you want to sit with and let go of and think of them as a clear light of spirit. See, this sounds so simple, but Trechet or advanced forgiveness are the main practices of both the Course and Dzogchen Buddhism. Somewhere in the Course, there's some pages where Jesus says, forgiveness is the answer. Forgiveness is the answer. Forgiveness is the answer, with an exclamation point after forgiveness is the answer, like 4 or 5 times on those 2 pages. I mean, like wham, 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 wake up, wake up. Your practice should be forgiveness. And what this forgiveness means, if I had known better, silently saying to these images that come up and to images that show up in front of your face, because there's no accident what images are showing up, people or events are showing up in front of your face. They're there for us to practice advanced forgiveness on, or Trechet, seeing through, being through their form, to think of them as the clear light of spirit. Well, anyway, that force energy went vertically down. And then I described to you how, I mean, it was horizontal. This was horizontal. Then that was, um, see, and I don't really know. I just know it's light energy that's healing and it's going horizontally. So it was healing the yin and yang judgments I have, thinking I'm this body. And the yin and yang, masculine and feminine, when you Google and research it, and it gets a little confusing, so I can't quite repeat it correctly. But one of them, uh, uh, um, is in charge of the right side of your brain and the left side of your body, and the other energy is in control of the left side of your mind and the right side of your body. That's how it works. And right now, those two energies are separated, and you're wanting to bring them together. Think of them as in union, and that's part of the healing, to recognize they're in union. It's just a thought that keeps them separate. They're in union, which means the particles of your light of your body are moving in unison within these physical characteristics. And each one, yin and yang, one is more gentle, and the other one's more fight or flight. They have these characteristics that are feminine and masculine, which when they're in balance, that means the yin and yang are together, and the winds of them are in balance and no longer fighting each other. But the horizontal uh, energy went down, then the vertical energy went sideways, went all the way over here to this side of the body, back to center, all the way over to the other side, back to center. So just picture that's the great ray. So just picture that, have that come over to your left side, come over to your right side. Again, that's healing, removing impure thoughts from your mind body continuum, but it's also healing. Look what it's doing. It's going right, it's going left. It's healing yin yang. So when all that was going on shortly thereafter, it's in the email, and forget the date. As I sat with, see, the awareness gets more subtle, much deeper and more subtle. So everything that's going on inside this body. The vertical great ray made a circle. Comes in the top, back center of your head, comes down the spine, up the bottom of the spine, back up the spine, back to source. It's circling. So you just picture a circle. A vertical circle is encompassing your spine and your whole torso, going up to source, back down from source, fueling your body, up to source, fueling your body, back up to source. A big vertical circle is going vertically through around your body. Now picture the yin and yang. When I felt its energies, the yin and yang, I sensed each one, which one was going right to left. And then when it got to center, it took the other energy took over and made the other side, made a circle, made a horizontal circle, makes a horizontal circle that goes like this. Like picture just a circle out in thin air that's rotating. But then take that circle like a hula hoop, put it around your body and circle it. That's the yin and yang energy that's joined together. It's occurring within the awakened form, but you can awaken it. You're seeing the purity of this, the non-separation of your masculine, feminine energies, etc. Due to this two circles of purity, see, they're both a circle of purity that Jesus talks about in A Course in Miracles. They're literal. A circle of purity is literal. And there you got two of them in your body, a vertical one, and you got a horizontal one. And I know this is deep. I know this is pretty wild, but the picture of sphere floating out in space, or no, a sphere, a big balloon around the whole universe, a big sphere, like a balloon around the whole universe. This vertical circling and this horizontal circling, they go together to form a big blue sphere that encompasses and holds the whole universe in your body. That's why sometimes you feel like you're floating in air, or that you're a drawing in air, or the images are drawings in air. They actually are. They're floating in air. So the circle of purity welcomes everybody in. So during your practice, you're journaling what images and thoughts are coming to mind. And if you're really want to purify these thoughts and feelings of separation, go back through your lifetime from day one to now. Silently calling up images and seeing the clear light of spirit in every one of them. All right, let's see what's next. Oh, I forgot. Another thing that produces the stillness is dedicating the merit of your practice to the benefit of all beings. Where I just got done talking about the circle of purity, where in essence you're welcoming in and wanting to help all beings wake up from the dream of separation from source, from the dream delusion of being separate from each other, and the dream or delusion of being separate from your true nature that's here, right, clear light nature that's here right now. Dedicating the merit of your meditation, that builds empathy and compassion and love, unconditional love within your heart. Oh, so let's go back. So when I did the research, I found the yin and yang two drops rejoin in the heart. Wow. This is big, because that is the physical world. Remember, yin yang is physical form. The drop of physical form merges with the a white holy drop of holiness, and they merge in your heart. And this heart is a chakra heart next to your heart organ. That heart knows of unconditional love. And due to that, those two drops rejoining in my heart, the fire of purity, the fire of purity is blazing in my heart. So therefore, it's wild to me, but automatically thoughts, feelings, and emotions get burned up automatically in these fires of these chakras. Once your yin yang is rejoined with this central channel, this vertical central channel that holds the great ray light, when those three winds produced by the movement of the yin and yang and the great ray. I'm going to go back a second. Just picture your breath. Your breath comes in, comes in and goes out. The breath. That breath is a movement that inside your body causes a wind, and in and out wind that's going in this central channel, a wind, in and out. Then that yin and yang, those two forces, they're moving, and their movement causes their two winds, their winds within your body, winds. And there's the great race always within your form, or you wouldn't be alive. It's just not awakened or opened yet, but it's there causing and a down comes down and goes up this central channel. That in and down and up movement causes movement that causes another wind. Just Google this. It's shocking. Just investigate what's going on inside your body. What's causing all this turmoil, chaos, and confusion? Well, these winds are inside your body. But picture if you've been practicing sky gazing meditation, space mingling meditation, seeing through, being through as many forms as you can, breathing up and down your central, calming, take that deep breath in, and on the exhale, go, calming yourself. Guess what? You're reducing the number of thoughts, feelings, and sensations that are going on within your mind and your body. Because these thoughts, feelings, and sensations, they have movements. Just picture that. The thinking mind, there's a thought. Then when your attention goes off to dart to that thought, and then there's another thought, your attention goes, awareness goes and darts to that thought. Then you have a feeling, your attention goes and darts to that feeling. You have let's see, a thought, feeling, a sound. You hear a sound, your attention goes, darts to that sound, wonder what that sound is, et cetera, et cetera. Look what's happening. You've now caused a bunch more winds, darting from thought to thought, darting from your attention to sounds. Sound, here's a sound, another sound, another sound. There's a sight, another sight, another sight. That darting is causing winds because you're chasing thoughts, feelings, and sensations. All I'm trying to say is not to think for you to think, oh, I'm never going to calm this all down. But yes, you will. I'm wanting to give you the big picture why you want to practice, why it's worth practicing. And why? Because you're calming down every time you're aware of a thought and you don't go darting off on it. You just stopped a wind. You just stopped a wind, and it becomes a habit. You stop darting, attaching, or pushing away these thoughts, feelings, or sensations. But what I want to get to is, of course, when we're asleep, what the heck? We don't know. So this darting and agreeing with the thoughts of judgment of good and bad, we actually form clumps, clumps of these judgment thoughts. Guess what happens with them? They fill up this central channel, this vertical central channel. They fill up that yin and yang wind channels. These channels are like tubes or corridors that are when they're awake and free, they're empty. They're empty. The wind is just going straight through them, not stopped by anything. There's no thoughts or clump judgments for these winds to stop on. But look what happens when we haven't done our practice. The winds come through these channels and whoa, they're stopped. And the wind stops and picks up the characteristics of whatever judgments clumped up sitting there lying in that channel. Then it goes to the next one and it's picking up. It's picking up karma. It's picking up karmic habits. The wind is now getting tainted by impurities. So it carries these impurities as it goes through. I don't know if there's I believe there's thousands of channels. That's why this acupuncturist puts needles in these different meridians. These are little freeways up. Usually there can be clear light, space, openness, but but typically they're clogged up with these thoughts, feelings, and sensations. And this revelation that I'm describing to you came to me in the last few days. It was like, whoa, whoa. Why I'm feeling settled is the winds that are produced from the great ray and the yin and yang and the breath. Remember, they're having in and out movements. From those energies, there come produce winds, and those winds are now flowing through my body freely, uncluttered by stuck judgments. So therefore, the winds are moving evenly, smoothly. That's why things feel settled, calm, whole, pure, uh, 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 still, quiet, etc. Now, I've done enough of that. So I want to share about beingness. So I was sitting in my chair a few days ago, I forget when exactly, and I recognized I was mechanically feeling the great ray come in and go out with the yin and yang spiral. It was mechanical, meaning I was taking it for granted. And I recognized, whoa, oops. And so I just kind of leaned back, took a breath, went, I don't know, and bead rested, bead with this clear light. And that's when I started to recognize that my awareness was resting within beingness. I was able to rest within beingness, and I felt stable, secure, loved, embraced. And see, that's because the chakras and the yin and yang, all these chakras have certain characteristics that produce feelings of groundedness, support, embrace, love, purity, all these sweetness, um, empathy, loving kindness, all the chakras, the hearts feeling this, the hearts join with the mind, the heart minds feeling this, loving feelings. These are chakras that have certain characteristics. Because they're starting to turn, then you feel these characteristics for moments, and then you build on these moments due to your practice. But what I want to say is, I started walking around being aware I was resting in beingness as I walked, as I was in the kitchen cooking. And as I was standing in the kitchen, it dawned on me to take my attention within, oh no, I was laying in bed. It dawned on me to take my attention after I was laying there. I recognized the night before I had been resting in beingness. I was laying in bed, resting in beingness. I'd gone through why I could be doing this due to all these thoughts, feelings, and sensations automatically being liberated because these channels were open. I thought, ooh, I'm going to put my awareness within this oak dresser next to my bed. And I took my awareness and went within that oak wood. And when my awareness was in this oak wood, I saw darkness. And I saw darkness because, see, the oak particles were densely compact to make oak. Now, of course, the densely compact oak is made out of clear light, just vibrating at a low frequency. But anyway, it appeared as darkness. But I was being with the oak furniture telling it I loved it. I'm not kidding. And then I bead with my mattress. I took my attention and I bead within my mattress to be aware of its vibrating particles. Now, in the email, it talks about uh, what all happened, but I ultimately I ended up taking my awareness to go within the body of Gary Renard because he had come up due to um, a recounting of what brought me to this point. Without Gary Renard's book, Disappearance in the Universe, I would not be here. So, anyway, I took my awareness within Gary Renard's body. And don't you know, I heard his spirit say, I love you, Glenda. And I said, I love you. I love you, Gary. Um, Now, what I'm wanting to summarize with is I never really understood what interbeingness meant, like interbe. Well, now I know. I took my awareness and I went inside a body. I entered a body. And within that body, I interbeed with the body. I interbeed with its vibrating light particles, its spirit. So interbeing went to a whole nother level for me because never in my wildest dreams would I ever have thought about practicing taking my awareness within somebody's body. But then it dawned on me that really is the ultimate make me one with everything experience. Because within the interbeing of being within a body, interbeing with it, I am one with everything from its deepest level. Ta-da! Thank you for coming out tonight. And bless your hearts. You all are really hearing information that is not typically shared. I've never heard it. And Terry Wager says she's thankful for me because no one she's ever talked to shares these things. He doesn't know and he's in holistic healing, sees the chakras, can clean chakras and all that. But I'm coming from a whole nother angle, and she appreciates that. So take from it what you want, use what you can. But the bottom line is, I hope you see how all these practices interrelate, interrelate to result in a mind that has let go of thoughts, feelings of separation to where you're no longer distracted, darting off, clinging and pushing to thoughts, feelings, and sensations, that it becomes lesser and lesser and lesser, that you're off sleepwalking and during the day you go, maybe you're driving or you're at home, you go, where did that 30 minutes go? How did I get here? Well, the mind was not present in the moment. It was off, attached and gluing some other thought, which don't kick yourself and don't beat yourself up. That's the natural tendency of the dual mind and why it was created towards the sort good and bad. It just fell asleep and doesn't remember it's the clear light. So we're awakening to remember we're the clear light. And in that realization, you learn you learn that the reason the sonship invented or created the form world, it wanted to experience what beingness felt like to be inside a body. And look what I'm just explaining to you. I realized I could take my awareness and be inside a body to feel what that body was feeling. And I went, whoa, That is why we invented form. And now I'm experiencing being inside Glenda's body, experiencing sights from her, these eyes, sounds from the ears, smells, taste, hands, from being within this body, thoughts from this mind, without being distracted by them. But if distracted, man, I'm come back real quick because I've cultivated awakened awareness, panoramic awareness, awareness of thought, etc. And you're doing the same thing, or you wouldn't be here listening to someone like me because I'm drilling all this home to you. So let's go through the tiles and bless our Sangha mates. There's dear Christ Buddha Ed, Christ Buddha Chaz, Christ Buddha Lynn, Christ Buddha Debbie, Christ Buddha Dee, and also let's do Christ Buddha Lucas and Dee's husband. He's not feeling well. And while we're at it, let's do Lynn's husband, Lee, who is having an experience with his form. And her son, Brandon, send him light and love. And to each of your families, I don't know, Debbie's family, Chaz's family, Edward's family, my family, Dee's family. Let's just send a prayer out to all sentient beings. May you be well, safe, happy, free, awakened, liberated, fulfilled, safe, happy, and free. May there be an end to war, poverty, violence, pandemics, and inequality and oppression. And may we all together complete the spiritual journey, one family, one circle, all the way home. Yay. Yay. Any thoughts or comments before I stop the recording? Oh, happy New Year. What a great way to start the new year. Thinking about how you want to form some new habits. It's so great to be with you all. My goodness. Okay. All right. I love you all. Let me take a moment to make sure I touch the right button to not end the meeting, but end the recording.